Welcome to my channel again, and finally, this is the final stage of discussing to you the recruitment and placement policies for workers, especially workers for overseas employment. My discussion today will be focused on Section 10 of Republic Act 8042. Was likewise affirmed and amended under Section 7 of Republic Act 122. The first paragraph of Section 10 provides for the jurisdiction of the Labor Arbitration Branch of the National Labor Relations Commission. The labor arbiter has original and exclusive jurisdiction to hear and decide cases within 90 days from the filing of the complaint for all claims arising out of or by virtue of any law or contract, or any claims arising out of employer and employee relationship involving Filipino contract workers for overseas employment. And that includes the seafarers. Before, it is within the jurisdiction of the POAA, but now it's under the jurisdiction of the Labor Arbitration Branch of the National Labor Relations Commission. The POAA is only confined now to licensing and regulating bodies for a private fee charging employment agencies and private recruitment entities. The second paragraph of Section 10 of Republic Act 8042 and Section 7 of Republic Act 122 deals on the liability of these principal or foreign employers together with the private fee charging employment agency and the private recruitment entity. Their liabilities to the workers deployed abroad is always solidary, or we can call it jointly and several liability. The agency is required to post a bond which will answer for all the worker claims or workers' claims and damages. The third paragraph of Section 10 of 8042 and now Section 7 of Republic Act 122 talks about the substitution, the modification or amendment of the POEA standard employment contract. And should there be any substitution or amendment or revision or modification of this standard employment contract, which is already verified and approved by the Philippine Overseas Employment Administration, the liability due the workers remain unchanged. Whether its substitution was already implemented when the worker had been deployed abroad. The fourth paragraph of this Section 10 of 8042 and Section 7 of 122 deals with the compromise or settlement agreement which will be forged between the worker and the private fee charging employment agency or the private recruitment entity. And if it's already been approved, whether it's before the Labor Arbitration Branch of the National Labor Relations Commission, or if it's before the voluntary arbitrator or panel of voluntary arbitrators, the compliance of the same must be made within 30 days from its approval. The most important part of Section 10 of Republic Act 8042 is on the 5th paragraph of the law. It provides for the rights of the workers to claim or to reimburse their placement fees and other charges with an interest at the rate of 12% per annum in case the worker was illegally dismissed or terminated without just, valid, or authorized causes for termination. The last portion of the provision says that when the worker is illegally terminated or there was an unauthorized deduction against him, the worker may recover the unexpired portion of the contract, or 3 months for every year, whichever is lesser. Okay? However, this provision, particularly on the 3-month rule, was already rendered unconstitutional in the case of Serrano versus Galant Maritime. And it's further reiterated under the case of Yap versus Tenamaris. So, the effect of rendering this unconstitutional, if the worker for overseas deployment was illegally dismissed or terminated without just, valid, or authorized cause for termination, besides from reimbursement of the placement and recruitment fees and other charges, he or she may recover the unexpired portion of the contract. Okay? There is no more sealing period of 3 months. The 6th paragraph provides for a judgment rendered against the employer or the private fee-charging employment agency or the private recruitment entity. What will be the consequence? What will be the effect in case a judgment is rendered against the employer or the agency concerned? Especially so if the judgment had become final and executory. The effect would be the automatic disqualification of this private fee-charging employment agency or the private recruitment entity to operate as such without any further proceeding. The 7th paragraph talks about the non-compliance with the judgment order or the order or the judgment or order rendered by the compulsory or voluntary arbitration branch. And the effect would be the private recruitment entities or the private fee-charging employment agency officials, including the directors, the trustees, and the majority shareholders, may be disqualified to hold any public office in the government for at least 5 years. Their salaries, their wages, and other benefits may likewise be withheld for some time. They may be suspended for a period of not exceeding 90 days. Or worse, they may be dismissed or terminated. And the termination is just in accordance with law. I hope you find time again in listening to the discussions on the recruitment and placement. Again, thank you very much.